The team of the people is finally here, and we appreciate you being with us today here at Yukon High School for this exciting announcement. I'm Tony Sellers, and today we're going to be having presentations in English, in Spanish, then we're going to be having some questions from the press, and then after the press conference is over with, we'll allow some time for the press for their one-on-one interviews, and for everybody else, we've got a reception for you out in the main foyer at the entrance here at Yukon High School. Want to introduce some local dignitaries that we have with us here today from the Yukon area. Representing this district in the Oklahoma State Senate, we have Senator Stephanie Bice. Very appreciative to the superintendent of Yukon Schools for the use of their facility and more facilities as we get going next spring. The superintendent, Dr. Jason Simmeroth. Somebody that I've known a very long time and a great man, the City of Yukon City Manager, Grayson Bottom. And also I want to recognize the City of Yukon Mayor, John Alberts. And without further ado, let's get to the business that brings us all here this afternoon. I would like to introduce to you the Commissioner of the North American Soccer League, Mr. Bill Peterson.
Thank you. Well, we've been coming here for almost 3 years working on this day, and every time I come to Oklahoma, I'm impressed once again. And this crowd and this audience, the members of the media, the members of the community, again, very, very impressive. I love coming here, and we're glad to get started. Let me briefly just touch on a little bit about the NASL and then why we're here and how we got here and why we think this is going to be incredibly successful. This Sunday, we'll finish our 5th season since we relaunched the league. The Ottawa Fury will come down and take on the New York Cosmos for our championship trophy. And it's been an incredible season. Again, we have a very competitive league. 3 weeks left in the fall season. All the teams are still mathematically involved in getting to the championship. And we created and structured this league so it would be like that, so it would be competitive, because at the end of the day, what matters most is that we play great soccer and that the fans enjoy themselves. We're going to have that same experience here without a doubt. It's a league with a lot of history. Pele, Cruyff, Beckenbauer, others throughout the last few decades. We're very proud of that legacy, but at the same time, we're very proud to be here today as well, introducing our 14th team since the relaunch of the league. So how did we get here? 3 years ago, Brad Lund, who many of you probably know, called me up out of the blue and said, we've got a gentleman here in Oklahoma City who has been involved in soccer pretty much his entire life, and he believes that Oklahoma City would be a great home for an NASL squad. And I listened, and Brad kept talking, and I listened, and Brad kept talking, and finally I said, I need to get the heck out to Oklahoma City pretty quickly. This might be the best place on earth. Booked a flight, came out, and have been impressed, as I said earlier, really from day one. It's a special place. Shawn Jones, who's responsible for this club being here, is also a very special person. If you know him, you know he's honest, he's hardworking, he's passionate, very passionate about his family, about soccer, about Oklahoma. And he has drove this process for almost 3 years without fail and has got us to this point where we are today. We were ready to launch, must have been 18 months ago maybe, and some strange things happened, and in life, strange things happen, and we dealt with it, and we kept moving forward until I got another call from Shawn. He said, Bill, don't say anything until I'm finished. And he started to work through this vision and these conversations they were having with Rayo, and I was shocked. We didn't have a partnership like that anywhere in the league. No one else in this country has a partnership like this. And he started walking through the vision, and I said, let me book a flight, I'll be out. So we came out and sat down with the Rayo folks and the Oklahoma City, Shawn and his crew, and we spent probably a full day just really talking about the power of a relationship like that. A great city like this, great local ownership, history with the sport, passion about the sport, and then all of a sudden you've got this club that has established itself as a top club in one of the top leagues around the world. And you start looking at all those things that come out of a relationship like that, and you start to get excited pretty quickly. It's very unique, and it could be an opportunity where this is one of the strongest clubs in the country, bar none, in a very, very short period of time. Raul, Prensa's partner, also very passionate about soccer, very passionate about his country and his family, is very detailed in how this would all come together. He's turned the club around. They took over 3.5 years ago, I think, that was deep in debt and less than 30 seconds from relegation, and has turned that around to be, again, one of the top clubs in the top leagues throughout the world. So you're dealing with some people who've been very successful and know what it means to build something, and build something very strong, something lasting, and we're proud to have them as partners. I'm going to finish up with just walking through a list of why I think you're going to be successful here. And I call it my list of unfair advantages that Rayo OKC seems to be positioning themselves with. First, again, I mentioned it, passionate local ownership, being part of the soccer community. This sport has grown so fast over the last few decades, and there's a real tradition, there's real history, there's real love for the game, and having an owner who's been part of that is really key. Having an owner that's part of the fabric of that sport is really key for being successful, and Shawn is all of that and more. You got a very large, robust local soccer scene. I'm not sure the rest of the country gives you credit for just how good you are at the sport and how many people participate, but in the last 3 years, I've heard a lot of stories and seen a lot of examples of just how big the soccer community is. And we've had some other teams I think were like that. I mentioned Jacksonville started with us last year. I happen to live there, and the rest of the country didn't really recognize how big it was until the Armada launched, and then they were overwhelmed with the size of the crowds, how many players were coming out of the local community and playing for that team, and I think you're going to see the same thing here. Third, incredible facilities. I want to thank everybody at Yukon and the residents in the school. We're very proud to be able to come onto your campus and play this game. It's first-class facilities. We're excited about being in this neighborhood and in this part of town. We think we'll draw from all over, but we're proud to call this home. You've got an experienced and proven management team. Brad and DeBray have put events on in this city for years, all types of events, whether it's soccer or tennis, I mean, even hockey. So you've got a first-rate management team here that's going to be successful in making sure everybody gets to the stadium and has a good time. The local business community has already stepped up. Shawn's getting calls from local businesses saying, how do we participate? How do we partner with you? That's a key piece to building a strong organization and being able to get the players in that you want to get in. And already people are knocking at the door. And then, of course, you've got Rayo. And I've probably said enough about that. But that partnership is something that is going to be known throughout the world within the next few minutes. Rayo's a team that the rest of the world, they know who they are, they know what they do, they know how big they are, and now you're going to be associated with that, and Oklahoma City is going to be associated with that, and it's going to be a really, really unique opportunity. We're a league of history, we're a league of stars. We've got the Cosmos, the Strikers, the Rowdies, we've got Raul, we've got Senna, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Carmelo Anthony, we've got Paolo Maldini, we've got Nesta. We've got a league of stars from around the world that the clubs have built up over the last couple of years. And again, the unfair advantage is you're starting off with it. So congratulations. And finally, soccer's a global game. You're now part of that global game. We're proud to have you part of this league. And again, in a few minutes, the whole world will know all about it. So congratulations, Oklahoma, and welcome to NASL. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Peterson. And now it's time to hear from the people who have worked and toiled to bring North American Soccer League action here to Oklahoma. And as Commissioner Peterson mentioned, a gentleman that has been involved in the soccer scene in Oklahoma for many, many years, is heavily involved now in amateur soccer around the state and has been a driving force in realizing what we're seeing here today. I would like to introduce the owners of the Rayo Oklahoma City, Shawn Jones.
Okay, to start with, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. I want to really thank Bill Peterson and the group from the NASL for all the trials and tribulations, but we've kind of worked our way through it. Let me start by saying I'm used to standing up in front of about 15 to 18 girls or boys talking about soccer, not a room like this. So if I stumble a little bit, you're going to have to forgive me for that. Don't want to say a lot because I know this is going to get lengthy with everything we're doing, but a couple things that I need to say is, one, this started as an idea about 4 years ago. Brad DeBray and I were sitting at lunch. We said, hey, we think Oklahoma City's ready for soccer. Okay, no one had done it here in probably 15, 20 years. We started that process. We started kind of looking at the different ways. We started a PDL team, which is an amateur team, and we kind of saw that the city was ready for it. We were getting 1,000 people a game out to OCU to watch amateur soccer, and that's when we decided that this town is ready for professional soccer. So it's been kind of a long road, lots of ups and downs, but we finally got here. And the one thing I can say, I can't be happier than where we are today. And as someone asked me earlier, they said, well, what do you think about the process of getting here? And I said, I believe firmly that everything happens for a reason. And if it were not for the trials and tribulations and the ups and downs and spending 4 years working on this project, we wouldn't have the team here that we have today, and we wouldn't have the partners we have today. So, like I said, I think things happen for a reason, and I think this is the beginning of something great. The last thing I do want to say before I pass this on to Brad is I need to thank my family because they've put up with me chasing this thing for 4 years, jumping on it. I mean, literally a year and a half ago, I said to my wife, I'm flying tomorrow to Madrid. And she said, well, I mean, didn't you know, it was that quick. It was like, I've got to get on a plane, fly to Madrid. Hey, next week we got to fly to Atlanta. Next week we got to fly to Jacksonville. Because as this thing has kind of progressed, it just takes a lot of quick decisions and having to make a go of it. And if my wife and my family and my kids weren't so supportive of this, I don't think we ever would have gotten here. So I need to thank them very much. And without further ado, I'll introduce you to Brad Lund, who without Brad being on board, we wouldn't be here either. So thank you very much.
Good job. Good job. They forgot to put my stool here, so hopefully you can see me. Why Yukon? This news has actually kind of been out there a few months. I get asked it every day. Okay, I'm going to be straight up. I'm a lifelong Okie, born and raised in Tulsa. I've lived on this side of the state since 1984. Yukon, isn't that where Garth Brooks is from? Isn't there an outlet mall nearby? Didn't Integris just build a 5-star hospital out there? Yes. About 18 months ago, I was bored some Friday afternoon, and I was roughly at like 39th and Rockwell, and I called DeBray, who grew up in this region, and I said, where's this new Yukon high school at? He says, oh, just go up a few miles and turn left. I thought, up a few miles and turn left. For anyone that's ever bought a home, that first or second or third home you buy, when you drive in the driveway, you know which home you're going to buy. I pulled up, I wound around, the fountains are going. It wasn't a pretty day like it was today, and I thought, wow, this is special. I texted Vanche Ivan, who's a historian for prep sports across the state. I said, what's the nicest high school football stadium in Oklahoma? He replied like that, Yukon High School. I said, I'm in the parking lot. I said, are you sure? Not even close. I pick up the phone. I say, DeBray, Shawn, let's get on a conference call. I said, we've got a home. Within 30 days, we had a deal cut on a napkin with Dr. Jason Simroth. Probably not supposed to say this. We actually cut a deal with him before he was officially on board as the superintendent. And part of a sports franchise, doesn't matter at what level, you and your venue are one team. And I've been in situations where that wasn't the case. So far, the synergy between the city of Yukon, the school board, the surrounding cities that are all represented here today is why we were here. Some quick demographics. Canadian County is the fastest growing county in the state by population. Canadian County is the fastest growing county in the state by income. Canadian County has the highest rate of growth for youth participation soccer from the rec level all the way up to the elite level. We have really found a jewel. And last but not least, it is roughly a 15 to 22 minute drive from anywhere in central Oklahoma City due to our great highway system. A little bit about our philosophy, it's very simple. I was fortunate to run the Oklahoma City Blazers for almost 17 seasons. We're going to run this no different. This is the fans' team. It's not my team, not Shawn's, not Commissioner Peterson's. This is your team. We are all ears and we will listen. With that being said, we are going to keep this affordable. Tickets, which go on sale immediately, begin at $12. To get a season ticket, $50 deposit is all that is required. That $50 deposit doesn't matter whether you're buying 2 tickets or 22 tickets. This place will be hopping. I will call today our first sellout. So give yourself a round of applause for that. With the team, you've got to have a crest / logo, a word mark, a color scheme. Our color is not sunset. You all didn't get that. Okay. It's red. Our dominant color is red and white with an accent of gold. And with that being said, we've got a nice video that'll hopefully get you as fired up as I am. Thank you. I get asked a lot, why were the Blazers so successful? And it didn't really hit me until after I'd been fired. It started with my front office staff, and I got so lucky with just good people. Joining us back in Oklahoma City as our general manager is one of our former longtime high-ranking executives, Mr. Eric Neuendorf. Eric, say hello. Eric has most recently been with the WNBA's Tulsa Shock. Now I will introduce my longtime friend and business partner, Mr. Debre Ayala.
Well, I have the pleasure of doing this in Spanish. So for those of you that took Spanish many years ago, and for those of you that are currently taking it, it'd be a good opportunity to brush up on it. First of all, buenas tardes y gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy. Estamos muy orgullosos y emocionados de poder presentar este gran proyecto. No ha sido una tarea fácil y es un proyecto en lo que hemos estado trabajando más de 3 años. Siempre me han dicho que las cosas buenas en la vida no son fáciles de obtener y eso esperamos con esta franquicia. Muchas gracias a nuestro equipo de trabajo por todo el apoyo y tiempo que han puesto en realizar este momento. Muchas gracias a nuestros socios de Madrid. Sin ellos, este sueño no sería posible. Nos sentimos extremadamente orgullosos y contentos de ser la primera franquicia en la historia de fútbol en los Estados Unidos que tengan socios que pertenecen a un equipo en la Liga, la mejor liga de fútbol en el mundo. Queremos que la comunidad hispana sea parte de nuestra familia de fútbol. Esta franquicia se hizo pensando en la comunidad hispana. Rayo OKC es su equipo, nuestro equipo. Estén pendientes de cosas grandes que vienen con esta franquicia en deporte y entretenimiento. Gracias por acompañarnos en este sueño que se está realizando. Sin más, les quiero presentar a nuestro socio mayor desde Madrid, Raúl Martín Presa. Gracias.
Hello. First, I want to say thank you for this warm welcome and say that for me and for us it's an honor to have here in your community, in your state, in your country that is a great country. Yes, country that I had admired that I was child. Yes. I start in English, and after I will continue in Spain. In Spain, this Oklahoma and United States is a land of opportunities. This land was conquered by your ancestors after surviving a very difficult and long trip. After and we are a team that are survivors, and I think this is our philosophy, and I think that this is you are sign us and I sign you, and for this I have to say thank to Shawn Jones. And Bill Peterson and all people that are here, and I would like that in the future this is a good opportunity for introducing the soccer to all these child that is here today, and it's a good opportunity for develop the soccer in United States. This is a great country in the majority of the sport of Olympic Games, but not in soccer. And we like that we want to help you to develop this sport. Yo continúo en español para la comunidad hispana. Como decía, estamos muy orgullosos de estar aquí. Y esperamos que en esta tierra, como he dicho, de oportunidad, tierra que todos sus antepasados, tuvieron que venir aquí tras un largo viaje desde Europa y ser conquistada. Aquí se ha recibido bien a la gente de fuera, esperamos ser bien recibidos y venimos desde la más estricta humildad y con la intención de poder ayudar a esta comunidad y a este país a desarrollar el fútbol profesional. Por lo tanto, nada más que decir. Esperamos sobre todo que todos los valores que tiene el Rayo Vallecano en Madrid sean aquí los que tenga el Rayo en Oklahoma, valores en los cuales creemos que somos un equipo único en el mundo, porque creemos que el deporte y el fútbol en especial debe servir para algo más que para practicar deportes, debe seguir para unir, debe servir para hacernos solidarios y debe servir para ayudar y concienciar a los que más lo necesitan. Eso es nuestro ADN único que tenemos en nuestro club y queremos también que el Rayo Oklahoma se impregne en el futuro de ese ADN y en un país tan grande como es Estados Unidos, con más de 350 millones de habitantes, con grandes universidades, con gran formación, pues todos estos valores pues podamos ayudar a desarrollarlos si cabe un poco más e impregnarlos en toda la comunidad un poco más. Nada más, muchísimas gracias y espero pues que puedan disfrutar del primer equipo de fútbol profesional en el estado de Oklahoma. Gracias.
All right, Rayo Oklahoma City is officially here, and I know you've got questions, so before we get to the reception, if you have any questions for any of our participants and the ownership here today, now's the time to ask them. Just raise your hand and start talking. Don't be shy. All right.
Most of the teams around the league seem to have local TV and radio affiliations that are pretty strong. I'm curious to know what you're like that for.
Our plan is to be as visible as possible, and we have just started those negotiations. So our goal is to have a television and radio partner, not only in English, but also in Spanish. Good question.
Yes.
Can Oklahoma City really support another big soccer league? We have the energy, and I feel like that's still getting started. Can we support two leagues?
Well, I hope so. I hope we both sell out every night and keep creating the magic that Oklahoma City sports fans continue to prove year after year, event after event. So it would be ideal to be the only team in town, but we're not, and we will throw our support the other way. And what's great for soccer is great for Oklahoma City and Canadian County.
One more question.
Yes.
I just had a follow-up. What sets you apart then from the energy? What will make you different?
Well, and these guys are welcome to jump in as well. I think there's a lot of differences between the two leagues. The NASL is, by the way, we are the smallest market in the NASL, so all these big cities are going to come in here and try to take it to us. There's a lot of economical differences that's confidential, but there's major differences in the economics. But U.S. Soccer has a classification system. The North American Soccer League is classified as Tier 2, the NASL, and then the USL is classified as Tier 3. But you know, the fans will ultimately decide what the differences are, but ideally it'd be great if they supported both teams.
All right, we're going to have one-on-ones for the media. Now, English will be set up over here, and we'll also have one-on-ones for Spanish media over here, and everyone else is welcome to join us in the foyer for a little bit of refreshment today and find out more about the ticket packages out front. We appreciate everybody coming here today, and go Rayo OKC.